Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening. Now we are going to start looking the question based on the loop. So we'll see some MCQ question based on the loop, and we are going to discuss around 25 to 30 question based on the loop. So we'll start the question from the basic level, then we'll go to the intermediate level, and then we'll go to the advanced level. So let's start. So the first question here, which I'm going to write here. So the first question here, you can see on my screen, I'm going to write this one. So you can see here, the first question which I have here, we have one class and the class name is nothing but loop question one. Then we have the main method, and inside the main method, we have one loop. And then and the loop is going to start from the one, and it is going the I value as equal less than 2 and I plus plus, and then I'm trying to print the sum statement there. I want to know what can be the output for this. I want to know what can be the output for this. So here you can see like we have couple of option. The option one, hello message will print one time, or only once the hello will print. The second option which I have, hello will print two times. The third option which I have, it will give you the compile time error, and the fourth option which I have here, it will give you the runtime error. I want to know what can be the output for this. So if you'll see this question, okay, if you'll see this question, this is a very basic question I have here. Okay, this is a very basic question. So here what is happening? What is happening? So here you can see the I value is equal to 1. So the somehow the I value is going to start from 1. Now we'll check the condition. 1 is less than 2. Yes, the 1 is less than 2. Once this condition will be true, then will come the control will come inside the body of this for loop. And once the control will come inside the body of the for loop, somehow this message will be printed. After printing this message, after printing the message, the I value, okay, the fourth step here, this is the fourth step. So the first step here, we have to increase the value, we have to initialize the value of I. The second step, I have to check the condition. The third step, if the condition is true, then come inside the body of the for loop. If the condition is false, then we'll go outside of the for loop. But in my scenario, 1 was less than 2. Some and somehow my condition was true. Since my condition was true, the control will come inside the body of the loop. And here I am trying to print the hello statement. So it will print hello. After printing this hello, the fourth step, I have to increase the value of I. So now the I value now become 2. After become 2, again, once the control will reach to this line number 11, again they will come to check the condition is true or not. So now the I, which was 1, now the I become 2. And since I become 2, now I have to check the condition. 2 is less than 2 or not. Now 2 cannot be less than 2. 2 is equal to 2, but not less than 2. And due to that reason, my condition is false. Once my condition will be false, now the control will come outside of this loop. So the control will come outside of the line number 11, and somehow after line number 11, we don't have anything. So program is going to terminate. And in because of now the output we have seen here, the hello has printed only once. So what can be the output? What can be the option here? So option A is the right answer here. So right answer is the option A. Option A is the right answer here. Any doubt? So hello is printing here only once, not more than once, because this loop is only execute only one time, and since this loop is going to execute only one time, hello will print only once. The second time, once it will try to execute this statement, this condition is going to false, and since this condition will be false, the second time this hello could not able to print. I mean to say the control will go outside from this outside of the for loop, and we don't have anything outside of the for loop, so nothing will get print. Only once this will print. I hope clear. If not clear, let me give you the second example. This is same as the first example. So we are going to make slightly change. So let's see this is the example 2. So the question number 2, what I have here, you can see this is the similar to the question number 1. If you'll see, this is the similar to the question number 1. There will be very slightly change in between the question number 1 and question number 2. So here also I have one loop, and this loop was going to till I less than 2. Here I have the same loop, and suppose here also I'm going to I value less than 2, the same condition. Now here I want to know what can be the output for this. So here what can be the output of this I want to know. So you can see here this question number 1 and 2 somehow very similar. The question number 1 and 2 are very similar, just they are very slightly changed. So what is the change here? If you notice this program or the question number 2, now this statement is outside of the for loop. In the first example, if you see this statement, you can see this is the part of the this statement, hello statement was the part of this loop. I mean to say this hello was inside this open curly bracket and close curly bracket. And this from here to here, whatever the line I am writing, this is nothing but the body of the for loop. Now in this case, this loop, this statement which I have here, this is out of the loop. Now I want to know what can be the output. This will print hello 1 times, or hello will print 2 times, or it is going to give the compile time error, or it is going to give you any runtime error. So I want to know what can be the output. So if you see this program now, again this hello will is going to print only once, and since the hello will print only once, the somehow the option A again is the right answer. Now why it will print only once? So you can see here the loop is going to start from 1. So the step one here, I have to initialize this value of the I. So in the step 1, I'm initializing this I. Now step 2, I have to check the condition. So I'm checking the condition. Now tell me this condition is true or false. Somehow this condition is true. If condition is true, the third step, the control will go inside the body of the loop. Now tell me what you have inside this body of the loop. Do you have anything from here to here inside this body? No, right? If you don't have anything, what it will print from here? Nothing. Okay, fine. So now somehow after coming inside the body, the control will say, CA, there is nothing to print. Since there is nothing to print, I have to go for the step number 4. So the step number 4, now they have to, you can see here, it is the I plus plus. So I plus plus means this is the post increment, and somehow I have to increase the value of I by 1. Now the I which was earlier 1, now it become 2. And since this I become 2, now again once the control will reach here, somehow they will move to again for loop. So again it will come inside the for loop. And now they will say, hey, now the I value is 2. Let me check the condition. Is this condition is still true or not? So 2 is there less than 2. Now tell me this condition is true or false. So somehow this condition is now false because 2 is equal to 2, but 2 is not less than or greater than 2. And because of that reason, this condition is false. Now, once this condition will false, the control will not go inside this body. And since it will not go inside the body, somehow the control will come outside from this loop, or somehow this loop is getting terminated, but still my program has not been terminated. So outside of this 4, you can see we have only one statement here, and the statement is nothing but hello. So now it will print this hello. And after printing this hello, the program will get terminated. So how many times hello printed here? Only once. Only once. Even here, if we'll make this one from 2 to 3, there will be no impact. Because somehow now this loop will execute at least 2 times. This loop is going to execute 2 times. Once the I value was 2, it was executing only once. But now somehow it is going to execute 2 times. But we don't have anything inside the body of the loop. So that we don't have anything inside this body or loop. And since we don't have anything, it will not print anything from there. This line will only print once you will come out from the for loop. Once you will come out from the for loop, then only this statement will print. So this statement is going to print only once, not more than that. And due to that reason, the option A is the right answer here. Now question number 3. So question number 3 we have here. So we can see here we have one loop, we have one class, and inside the class we have the main method, and inside the main method again we have one loop. And somehow I have one more variable inside the loop, that is the A, and somehow I am trying to print the value of A, and then I want to increase the value of A. Again on the A, I am doing the post increment, and then I'm closing the loop, and then somehow again outside of the loop I want to print the A value. So somehow if you'll see here the A value I want to print 2 times, one inside the loop and second outside of the loop. So that here this A is inside the loop. I mean to say this A is here. You can see within this bracket, open curly bracket, which is on line number 46, and the closed curly bracket, which is line number 50. So somehow A will print the value here. A value will print here also, and we have to print the A value here as well. Now I want to know what can be the output for this. I want to know what can be the output for this. It will print 99, 100, and 101, or it will print 99, 99, and 100, or it will give you the compile time error or runtime error. So the answer for this question, or the right answer from this option, I can say the option C is the right answer. Option C is the right answer for this. It is going to give you the compile time error. Now the question is why this is going to give you the compile time error, or in which, because of which line it is going to give me the compile time error. So I'm saying here, you can see why you are going to get the compile time error. So you can see here, this is the A. A I have declared as a, tell me this A is the local variable or global variable? This A is local variable or global variable? This is the local variable. Okay, this is the local variable. And somehow I'm trying to access this local variable. So if this is the local variable, what will be the scope for this local variable? So local variable will be alive or can be roamed within this loop itself, within this body itself. So the scope of this local variable will be within the body of the for loop itself only, not outside of the for loop. Okay. So assume that this is the some kid in our house. And if I'm saying the kid name is A, so somehow this is one of the kid in my house whose name is A, and this A or this kid can roam only within the house or within the home. It is not allowed to go outside the home. So somehow the scope for this kid is within the house itself. Same as for this local variable, the scope will be within the body of this loop itself. If somehow they will try to access outside, okay, if someone is trying to access outside of the loop, compiler will say, hey, I don't know this. Who is this A? I don't know. I don't know where is this has been declared. I don't know who is this A. And since compiler don't know who is the A and where you have declared this, somehow we are going to get the run compile time error, not runtime error. Since this is a local variable and local variable scope is within this body of the for loop itself, in this scenario, the A scope is within this body itself, not outside of the body. And somehow I'm trying to access this value outside of the body of the loop. And because of that, I'm going to get the compile time error. So just assume that local variable is nothing but a kid in our house who can roam within the house or home, but they are not allowed to go outside. They are not allowed to go outside. If he will go outside, if he will go outside, he will face some problem. Same as if this is the local variable, if I try to access outside, we'll get the issue and we'll get the compile time error. So since this is a local variable, I'm getting the error. If we'll remove this line from here and if we'll keep here, and then this is the local variable and you will not get the compile time error. And in that scenario, the output will be something else. Okay. But our question was, I make I the A was local, and since this A was local, somehow the scope is within this for loop itself. It matters where you are going to declare the A variable. I hope this is also clear. Now we are going to see the question number 4, and we'll see what can be the output for the question number 4. So the question number 4 I am going to write here. So I can write here question number 4. So you can see this is the question number 4, not 5. And I'm saying this is the class name also 4. Now you can see here, I have, this is again similar kind of the example of the first one, but somehow little change. So you can see here, I is equal to 0. And then here you can see I have the I, again I'm initializing the I value with 0. Then I'm checking I less than 10, and then I'm saying I plus plus. So want to know what can be the output here. It will print 1 to 10, it will print 0 to 10, it will print 0 to 9, it will print 0, it will print 9 only, or it will give the compile time error. I want to know what can be the output for this. So again, this is not the challenging question. This is somehow basic question only. and if you know about for loop, might be you can able to answer. So let me tell you what can be the output for this. So you can see here, you can see once I value is equal to 0 and I'm checking this condition is true or false. So the first step here, if you have the for loop, always remember the first step what I have. Somehow I have to initialize this variable or I have to assign the value inside the variable. That is the first step. What is the second step? So I have to check the condition. Now tell me this condition is true or false. I less than 10. What is the I value? 0. 0 is less than 10. Condition is true or false. So the meaning of this is nothing but somehow 0 is less than 10 and somehow 0 is less than 10, that condition is true. If the condition will be true, somehow I will come inside the body of the for loop, and once you come inside the body of the for loop, you can see here there is a break statement, and from the break statement we know that if I'm writing the break inside the for loop, somehow forcefully I am trying to terminate this loop. So somehow forcefully I am trying to terminate this loop. So once the control will come inside this body of the for loop and they will find this statement as a break, what they will do, they will say, hey, I'm going to terminate this loop. So somehow this loop is going to execute only once, and because of the break, it will not continue till 10 times. Now, since it has been break or terminated, now what statement I have outside of the loop? So you can say I want to print the value of I. Now tell me, have you executed this? No, right? Is this I plus plus has been executed? No. Before it will get executed, somehow I'm calling the break. And since because of the break, I'm coming outside the for loop. And since I'm coming outside of the for loop, what do you think? What can be the output? So the final output of this, the final output, what was the initial value? That is the only final value. So there is no change. So the final output or the final answer is the option D. Option D is the right answer here. Option D is the right answer. Now tell me if you have any doubt or any concern. So this all was the very basic question. If you don't have any doubt with any of this question, then now we'll start looking for the some intermediate level question on the loop, and we'll see what can be the output for that. So we'll see the intermediate level question, and after that we'll see the advanced level question as well. So we'll see in that all those questions in the next video.